Okay, Yom Kotzer, Mamalocha Maruba. Baruch Hashem, they get a little longer with daylight savings, but still the Malach is Maruba.
Especially if you have a house
So someone asked me a Sheilah this week. It wasn't so much a Sheilah, more he was in shock. He works in an office with Jews, non-Jews. There are also from people, also from women. And he tells me it was like a clique of them that, the things that the rabbis say, you can have sushi. It doesn't have to be kosher. Sushi or texting on Shabbos. The rabbis said it. It's all the rabbis. Okay. So, Vahi Hayom, a week ago, and one of these women and a half got up and she relocated and she left the office. And he got the choshva task of sorting out her desk because her desk was left with piles of stuff that needed to, someone else has to take over things. Things have to be shredded, the documents. So he had so we're excited. So him and the supervisor are going through the desk, and then he finds a document which this woman had a few days recently had done a test to see if she has a certain machla. The type of machla that you don't get just airborne.
Straight and narrow.
Yeah. So he was in total shock. This is the interesting thing is that this after talking for a while, the person said that he feels that
It's from the sushi.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. You got it. And it's interesting. People have their own struggles. So this is a person who had a lot of struggle in keeping up a higher standard in keeping mitzvahs. And he always worked very hard. And I know him, so I always felt that it's worth the while. Because that thing of holding a higher standard is good. It's good for everything.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, but so now the person was saying he feels how it pays off to keep a higher standard. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. You're with us. So the kid says, so the woman, he finds on her desk this paper, and it's another way she's tested for HIV, and now he's wondering, okay, so Lamaisa, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't see too much of a halacha shaila. It could have been, there's a chance that was a blood transfusion anyway, and who knows what, when, and where, so there's no point for him to say anything to anyone, so it's irrelevant. However, but the issue already came up, and has a shaykhs to Purim. It has not only a shaykhs to Purim, this is... The Gemara says that Esther said, so what did she say? The Gemara says that really she was married to Mordechai, and now she was forced by Achashverosh to sleep with Achashverosh. So Mamela, she was mutter, she was to stay a wife to Mordechai. However, she was mutter to Mordechai.
Because it was forced.
Because it was forced. Now, all of a sudden, she was going berotzen. Now I'm going also to be with you. So Tosfos asks.
That's also honest.
Oh, this is our Shiloh, right? Oh, very good. So now it goes into
the. If she wouldn't go, then he'd take it out on the yin.
Oh, very good. This is the crux of the Shiloh. And now this brings us into an interesting thing that the Rebbe's first Maimah, the Rebbe said, the Kibbutz Yehudim, which is, as I spoke about this last week, the first Maimah and the very last Maimah from the Rebbe Purim are identical. They're based on his father-in-law's Maimah, the Kibbutz Yehudim, and a beautiful upshot of the whole Maimah is Judaism you, or it's Adover Anoisef al Metzius, is me and my Judaism. And it's a very... but one of the things in the Maimon is the difference of the Mesiras Nefesh that the Jews had on Purim and on Chanukah. And that goes into the whole things of why Purim Dafke was Kimo V'Kiblo Yehudim Eser Shechelu Lasas. That at the time of Mount Torah, they started getting the Torah. And the final Gemara Kabbalah was on Purim. So that Mesidus Nefesh was an awesome type of Mesidus Nefesh. Afterwards in the Sikha, the Rebbe said that in the Maimer he didn't want to mention this because he didn't see it in any Maimer. But he has some thoughts that connect to the Maimer and he wants to share these thoughts. So let's look here. Second paragraph. Kosav Rambam. The Rambam writes. That there are three mitzvahs that a person must allow himself to be killed and not to be over on that mitzvah. So if a person, the Torah says he should be killed, he's supposed to be killed and not kill another human being or not bow to an idol. And he transgressed the Veda and he didn't get killed. They told him you got to kill someone else, otherwise you'll be killed. And he went and he killed someone else. Or they said bow to an idol, otherwise. And he bowed to the idol. Or they told him have Gilei Arayis, sleep with a married woman, and he did it anyway. Hareze mechalel es Hashem, bimhoye ba'asonim Yisrael, hareze chil Hashem berabim, u'bittel mitzvah asay shal kiddush Hashem avav al mitzvah loitus shechil Hashem. Obiche, nevertheless. But no shavar b'yoines, because he was over b'yoines, emalkin oisay, it gets no malchus. Because those b'yoines, wenn tzarech lam Hashem emissen oisay bezna, filo horek b'yoines, ein malkin omissen elo over tzanoi ubeidem basara. Even if he killed someone, but he was forced to kill, he does not get killed. Shenema.
The whole Morano's question changes the whole thing.
Shenema b'noisem mezare lamoylach, and sat anis pon of isha over pia shvolamdu. Ahu v'loy onos v'loy shogig v'loy muta. The taka, they do lose. You can't punish them. You can't punish them. They lost the opportunity to do the mitzvah of kiddush Hashem or kiddush Hashem baram, but you can't punish them. That's it. My avoid is gekham shikhamun min akol loy with the savines and khayf kodes when tzarech lam misses bezdin in kalam khayf la shan mitzvah samur in the Torah. Then the Rambam continues. Geshem she'amru ba'oin tzav kach amru b'chaloim. Just like it comes to being forced to do one of the any of the Avedas in Torah, we say that if a person is being forced to eat pork, eat it. Unless the guy is not doing it for his pleasure. The guy is doing it in order to take away from Judaism, so then it's different. But otherwise we say better to be over and to live. Besides, there's three mitzvahs that you always have to have Kiddush Hashem. So similar when a person's sick. Ketzah. Misha Cholav and Notalam, this person's sick. He's going to die. The doctor said, and they said the medicine, the cure is to do a isur, eat something, for example, that's also. So then we say it doesn't matter what it is, you have to save the other person's life. A person should be healed with all the Yisurim in the Torah. These three things are not allowed to be healed. If it's safe.
There's also shmad, a shmad.
Huh?
Like in Holocaust, there's a shmad.
Right.
So even though you're allowed to save your life, to eat traffers, but since it's a shmad, people will mock me.
Right.
Even if they say we'll kill one person and we'll save the whole city, you're not allowed to do it, right?
Right. So here, we're saying by healing a person, that they're going to say, you know what, if you bow to the Zohar, you're going to get healed. So if he's foolish enough to believe that that's true, let's say it. Or they say if you're going to be...
No, they'll give it as medicine.
Right. Or they give him medicine, that's Avodah Zarah. Exactly. That mamash Avodah Zarah, and it's medicine. So now he has to better die. Shafilu mokim sakona misrapim behem. Mimavav nisrapa, if he did take that pill. It's Avodah Zarah pill, and he took it. He took it. He gets the punishment. All the Achronim asked.
What's a roiler? How do we know it's roiler?
Huh? Whatever he deserves. If it's Avodah Zarah pill.
But he did it behind his patri.
Everyone asks it. There's at least 25 Mefarshim that ask this question. We looked today in the Franklin album on the back.
Now it's 26.
Yeah. Mamish. It's like who is who from the Achronim is asking this question. And That Sicha, the Rebbe didn't have the Frankel Haba. The Rebbe didn't have the Yotza Chachma.
Never said the Frank came out later, didn't have it.
It was a Tavshin Yudal. So, but the Rebbe said that you could answer it based on Tzemach Tzedek. Tzemach Tzedek didn't really come to answer this question, came to answer a different question. As I said, using the same logic, there is now. It's interesting that there's a sefer on the mitzvahs of Kiddush Hashem. I don't know why I didn't bring it today. I want to show you the sefer. This sefer. And this sefer discusses this thing a lot, and the Rebbe is metzayin elsewhere to that sefer. It's a sefer, yeah. He's a yid that lived in Eretz Yisrael. He was a chassid of the Alter Rebbe. He was a moile dike Talmid Chacham. He was considered in Eretz Yisrael an unbelievable respect. The Prushim and Chassidim. He was a first cousin to the Gro. They had the same Zaidi. Now his name was Eli Yosef Rivlin. Today there's a very choshev of Rivlin family. There's the president of Israel. So I always
Also a Mispal here, from the family from Detroit. Also related. Yes.
Most of the Rivlins are Eniklach of the Gro. So, but I read in the Akdam, but the
The
Sefer,
Rosh Hakol in Vilna.
so, because they were cousins, and they had it as well, but his mother, his mother was a Rivlin, the Gro. So they were cousins. And the Akdam Sefer Takim says that the whole family went on the side of the Misnagdim. Besides this Eli Yosef and his brother that came to the Alter Rebbe, and they became very devout to sitting in the Alter Rebbe. He moved to Eretz Yisrael, and he was considered one of the very, very choshev Koiskim in Eretz Yisrael. And so he wrote several svarim. One sefer, Mitzvahs Kiddush Hashem, and I'm lucky to have the sefer because once Rabbi Shur was liquidating a whole bunch of svarim, he was getting rid of, so he was selling them like $1 a piece. So, so I came and I this was one of the svarim that I got for $1.
Wow.
Somebody very often just talks
Right, but those, I never see
They're
them.
not the good ones.
Yeah,
You could do a reprinting.
yeah, the old Milchus Chinuch.
Is it
I got the new
Oitzah
one.
Chachma?
I didn't check.
You can
Since I
restore
have
it. You can put it on.
I have to check it.
Yeah,
I have
you
it.
can
I
give it
wonder
to
if they have it. Yeah, it's a very important sefer. It's funny that it ends up being a Lubavitch Chachot. Who would think of writing so many? There's a lot of detail, a lot of lomdus and mitzvahs kiddush Hashem. He wrote a whole sefer on mitzvahs kiddush Hashem. Little did he know that Lubavitch Chassidim will need the sefer, or maybe they don't need the sefer.
And it's Anikel noch.
But
We gave it a shear on it.
the mishpacha. So anyway, the Rebbe's Metzayin talking to the Sefer, and he brings that many more Achronim answer the same thing as the Tzemach Tzedek. And basically, Tzemach Tzedek goes like this. Looks at the next paragraph. Tam b'ksuvas. It says in the ksuvas the Mishnah. Isha shenech b'shabidei ovik yechov moment. A woman that's in jail on money matters. She didn't pay her taxes. She was caught here, right over here. Tanan b'ksuvas. Isha shenech b'shabidei ovik yechov moment. That she didn't pay her taxes. Muteres labayla. Then, if she goes out of jail, she's permissible to live with her husband.
That's a Havmin.
Because in jail, sometimes they ma'anas the women. The jailers are ma'anas the women.
They don't put them in the women's section of the jail?
That's the bad part.
Yeah, that would be, she wouldn't be asked to her husband if that would happen, by the way.
If the jailers were women, we're talking about over here that the jailers were men.
That's if he's a claim.
No, a Kohen would be different. Here, this Mishnah is talking about a Yisrael. In other words, if she's a Kohen, it doesn't help because she becomes a Zoina, even if she was forced. But by Yisrael, she only becomes also to her husband if she willingly, as a Eishes Ish, went and slept with someone else. But if she was forced,
It's a different story.
it's a different story. She was forced. She was forced.
Yeah.
By a Kohen, it's not that way because she becomes a Zoina. But by Yisrael,
She loses the coin, basically. She loses her.
Kohen is very sad.
Yeah,
Right?
same.
The Kohen is very sad. She loses her husband. But by Yisrael, it's not that way. If she was forced, she was raped. She was raped. It wasn't. That's it. She didn't do any sin. She did nothing wrong. So she's mutter. But now Yedei Nefesh, if she's in jail for matters capital punishment, Asur L'Bayla, she's also to her husband. The big machlokes-
Why?
Why?
Why is
So
that?
Rashi and Tosfos says like this. Basically, they say this is the bottom line of what they say. They say a woman, she's on death row. So what is she thinking? Maybe if she's going to sleep with one of the, maybe he'll let her escape through the back door. So therefore we're choshid that she might have slept with one of them, and then that's it, because she thought that maybe she'll get it
Easy.
And Bechla Rashi explains like this: that the goyim know that their husband, that those days people were had more oiskehit, and so they know if she slept with someone, they're not interested. The husband's not going to be interested in her. So they don't want to have this problem, because then they know if a woman gets taken in for taxes, and then the jailers are sleeping with her, no husband's going to pay her taxes. Okay, so they don't want to have it. They don't want it. But if it's aliskin and foshois, she's on death row, so they don't care. So they let the jailers do whatever they want with the women. And we're choishish that the women wants to find favor in their eyes. The Ramban has a Veltz Kasher.
Yeah, that's a hell on Yidden. You're being nice.
How you choishish such a thing?
Yeah, on Yidden. You're being nice and laws on Yidden by saying that they don't care about their wives if they're choishish for taxes.
No, that's what the goy thinks. The goy thinks that way. Not the Jew doesn't think that way.
So why should her husband?
The goy thinks
There's no way that
if she's on. But where
we go close to the Roiv. We're saying Roiv women are going to sleep with the...
Not, well, yeah. We say that a woman that's on death row is very nervous, and if she, the goyim will sleep with any woman that's masking with them. And she's so nervous that she's on death row that she's desperate. She'll do anything. And out of desperation,
why don't we say Yiddish women are we're almost nefesh, just like, why is there a chazaka that Yidden are not over on these things?
Well, then Ramban asks you a question the opposite way. Ramban says, and what's the big deal? And if she slept with someone, she's an honest, she's nervous.
Fine.
Not near.
But how do we even get to the point where we're choisher about Israel and such a zach? I mean, this midrashim of Yidden jumped into the ocean.
400 girls that jumped.
Girls jumped in the ocean. So who says she should? And even if you say there's a chazaka, she's going to do it. Is there a chazaka that the goya man is a Jewish lady on death row? Is there such a chazaka?
The goy is always chosh. The goy is always chosh.
So ask her. Why isn't she a neman? She's a neman to say whether she did or she didn't. Ask her. Did you or didn't you?
What does that mean? The goy is always...
Well, not in any case. Any case.
We suspect.
Ask the lady.
Right.
Why is she believable?
We don't think that they have any morals.
That's right. It's automatic.
I don't know.
How'd you get out of
Maybe she stole her diamond ring and she gave him her diamond ring. Why do we have to be choshed this? Maybe she's. You know how many bubbas, there's stories of bubbas that they went out of the hut, they hid this, they did that, they went out with that. How did they come back home and they dug up and they found the rings and the lifeless?
Yeah.
So maybe she said, go over there, if you let me go, I'm going to tell you where the treasure's buried, and then that's what happened. I don't know what to think of this.
That's a good question.
Always look for schut.
You have to look for schut, why not? The player is looking for schut. I'm not a judge. The Gemara says 1 in 70 Bezdin didn't that killed somebody. Was killed in Bezdin that's killing Bezdin. 1 in 70 years, right?
Did they ever kill?
1 in 70 years. So why can't they find a chus for this poor lady?
I heard the Bezdin never killed anyone.
What?
If the situation happens, then they have to. They speak to the Gedol there in that generation.
They get her off and say, "This is just the first stage. There's a you're saying there's an appeal. There's an appeal process. During the appeal process.
40 days and that's...
So the next paragraph. So the Tema Tzadik says like
What's
this.
You had the Ramban. You said the Ramban has the
Yeah, the Ramban asks the Sheilos. He says, I don't understand. He says that, what are you saying? She's terrified for her life. So that's
anyway,
called oinus. That's
right.
called oinus. So the Tzemach Tzedek answers, Ladi is daiti, das Rashi v'toisvez, the oinus, the B'Yisrael, shori yizel k'shama'an tzala b'ila. What does it mean, oinus? That she's being forced to sleep with a goy. He holds a gun to her head or a knife to her throat, and he forces her to sleep with him. He's not holding a gun to her head. They don't care because she's on death row. She's herself offering herself because she wants to save herself. This is called willing.
This is a pellet.
This is called willingly. So that's the big
To save herself, that's willing.
That's a big
That's
pellet.
called.
She
In
wants
other words, he's
tashmish.
not. If he's holding a gun to her head or a knife to her throat, so then that's called onus.
Right.
But if So that's
She's on that row.
yeah.
And then you can say it's anyone else. You go back to Esther.
The flip side, right? It goes to Esther. The flip side of this is prenuptial agreements that we spoke about the other day, because this is negei l'chol ha'Torah, really. It is because what happens in a prenup that the person's not being forced to give a get. He's not getting forced to be a get. It's saying there's an agreement. If he doesn't give a get after a certain point, so then he's gonna get punished for $100 a day, and quickly it adds up, and the meter is ticking. So he doesn't want to pay that thing, so he gives the get. So this machloikis of Rashi and the Ramban, I'm not saying that, Tzaddik says it. This machloikis of Rashi and Tosafot and the Ramban will also play out in many other things. So according to Ramban, this prenup is not kosher, because you're forcing him to give a get. You're forcing him.
This is it. The prenups are allowed in a religion?
I'm not.
Traditionally speaking, it's not right.
Depends who you
Right.
ask.
So it depends who you ask. I'm
Gotcha.
saying.
Okay.
Depends who the father-in-law is, what's his worth.
Yeah. Right.
But
So this is
traditionally speaking, we don't do it.
right. We don't do it because of this problem.
That's
Because
right.
some opinions say that's called forcing.
That's right.
Same thing that some Tzaddik brings.
Right.
That there is the Mishnah says Loi hoyos sekrikim biYehuda, that when the Romans came in and they were killing Jews, so there was no din sekrikim if they took a field away from someone that it belongs to the goy now. So the Gemara asks why should it belong to the goy? I'm sorry, the Rishonim, the Rajba asks. It says Tal yu v'yav matanta lav matanta. If a person puts a gun to his friend's head, he says, give me a gift, your field, your house, your business. That's not a gift. That's nothing. That's a joke.
Doesn't make difference the goy or you do.
Yeah, it doesn't make difference who too. If someone puts a gun to someone's head and force him to give him matana, the matana is not a matana. So how come the Sukrikin, the Roman soldiers, when they came in, any field they took or any house they took, it belongs to them? Why? Why would Chazal make such a rule? So the Beis Yosef says very simple. Because if someone puts a gun to your head to give a matana, that matana is nothing. You never wanted to give it. You never give it willingly. It was bonus. But if someone came to kill you, didn't say this is what you feel, doesn't cure anything. Just came to kill you. And you're saying, you know what? Instead of killing me, go take my house. That's called berotzi. That's what the Beis Yosef
But
holds.
there's something different over here, because the Lashon is he misatzma mitzratzis l'tashmish. How do we know that he didn't say to her, I'll let you go free if we do tashmish? Why is we saying she's the one who initiates it? How do we know he's not? What if the guy
She
initiated
didn't
it?
have his gun on her.
What if the guy initiated and said, you know what, lady? If you submit now, I'll let you go. That would be honest. Would that be honest? Who knows? Who says the lady? Since when does a lady go to a guy and say, if I'll be mafkir
Your
myself?
child is a good child.
I'll be
But it
mafkir
doesn't-
myself if you let me go. Maybe he said to her, you know
It
what?
makes a difference for you.
Maybe it does make a difference.
Your
She's
child is a
giving
good child, but it doesn't start on the
That's
Tzemach
honest.
Tzedek.
That's exactly
Your child is on every Mishnah. In Masechet
You say she initiates the contact. Maybe he initiated the contact.
Yeah, but then why is it that the Mishnah says a child that learns Mishnah Tzubas knows that the only way a woman is kosher is if she pesha osa pesha iter. She comes and says, we don't know that she's in jail, and she says, Nish beisi ani u'tohira ani. So if she says, Nish beisi ani u'tohira ani, then she's tohir. And with Chazali was saying that, right, and that they say that the women should be smart, that they should tell the people that are putting them in jail, or the people that capture them, that they should tell them, I'm going to be worth more money for a sale if you don't walk into the town with me. If you let me walk into the Jewish court and you stand outside the building, give me 5 minutes and I'm worth double the price. Chazal say that. And because then they could come in and they have a pesha osa, a pesha ikir, and then they're mutter, because we say, we believe them. But we didn't know that they're in jail, or they're captured. But otherwise, if they walked in with the
Capture.
Capture.
Yeah. Then they would taka be osur. So taka, why would you think that every woman? But I don't know. The truth is today, I don't know if today is different or not. But it seems that those
we're just
days.
getting to the kuda of oinus, though. Get to the kuda of oinus. We're saying because she initiates it, so she's not an honest. But what if Taka? He said to her, You do my will, you'll go out.
Takaza, if she came, if we don't
Why
know
do we
that
say
she's in jail,
she's the one who's offering herself? Why?
we don't know.
She's
Question.
Desperation.
No, but the guy is much more nisava for this thing than she is. So he's mistom the one who's making the offer. She's not hitting
She
to
really has more to
him.
gain.
He's hitting on her.
She has more to gain to leave.
I'm just saying, it's in the derech ha'olam. Everyone knows women are passive. It's the men that go and are kovish the woman.
Not if there's something
No,
to
it
gain.
depends.
No, but
Sometimes-
he has more to gain here than she does
No,
anyway.
some
He
depends.
doesn't care if she lives or she dies. He
She
could care
gains
less.
freedom.
He doesn't care if she gets freedom.
But
He cares more about this nushpra than she cares about her freedom.
Yes, no, that's what.
How do you know?
That's
Guy cares about.
That's what they're saying.
No, but it depends. Like, you're right sometimes. Like, the Flaw brings that the Flaw says that Flaw says the same chiddush, and he says like the din is that when they come into a town, so then the women become all usher for the koyanim, because it doesn't matter if it was by force, but they're mutter for Yisraelim. Why? Because over there it's true. We say chazaka that they kill the men and they sleep with the women, and it's a chazaka that any woman they slept with is that they forced the woman. It's a chazaka.
Exactly.
It's a chazaka because why would the woman want to sleep? She has no choice. It's not the pshat that even if she willingly goes for it, but we know that everyone understands if she's not going to go for it, then she's going to be killed. She understands.
Isn't that I know the story of the Maccabees, the Hanukkah, the original, the backstory was the Romans took any girls getting married.
Right. Tabolag Matrila, right.
That's the backstory.
What's the backstory?
They wanted that any girl before she gets married has to sleep with one of their
generals. And the Maccabees got killed. Their own sister was that. They were going on with their own sister.
Right. That was the story of Yehudis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's,
How was that? How was that was considered for? That was honest.
that was considered oinus, but still, it's not pleasant.
No, I didn't.
It's not very pleasant. It's oinus, but it's not pleasant.
Can a person have a prenup if it's just financial? With
Yes, 100%, 100%. Sure, the Gemara says, why not? Prenup for someone called me this week. It's okay.
Regular.
Nah, exactly. But a woman is the opposite of the ksuba. It's the opposite. Saying the woman says, "I don't want you. I have wealth, and I don't want you to get a nickel of my money." But if it's made, it's made. But not what they get.
So what happened in the time with Bethuel and Lavan? They slept with everyone getting married. They have to sleep with her before. So what's the
They
story
were
there?
crooked people, no? So
this woman would be mutaret for Baala if she got married after.
yeah, she's
Well, not
there's
to a
force.
kohen.
But
Not a
here,
kohen.
not a
There's no
kohen.
kahana.
There's not kohen. So let's summarize. Let's summarize the teretz here.
Oh, I thought he said
According to the
psul.
Tzemach Tzedek, according to the Flaw, according to Mamish 25 Achronim, I learned this way, that there's a big difference. If a person has a gun to his head and he does an isur, that's called oinus. But if a person is being forced for something else, they're killing him anyway. They said they're going to kill you, and now he says, "Take my house, take my house." That's not called that you were forced to give away your house. Or the woman is being killed anyway, she's on death row, and then she's masking.
They come to you with a gun. They ask you, your money or your life.
No, that's different. They're asking for your money. But if they're not asking for your money, they're just about to kill. No money. Didn't say a word money. They just said, "That's it." Ois. So then, whatever the person does is not called forced.
You know what's funny? Because the Alter Rebbe writes in Tanya that when it comes to Mesiras Yesharos, every Jew's willing to do it. So why don't we say here that she's willing to be moist and nefesh not to sleep with a guy? So
You their eyes.
Could be when there's.
it's like a chazaka. Jewish people have chazaka. They're not going to be over on these things.
Right. So you know what?
Maybe it was just like not every woman is fond about the pussy.
No, it's not doing chassid. The Alter Rebbe's not ready for this. There were no Lubavitchers when the Alter Rebbe wrote Tanya. There were no Lubavitchers.
Don't have the same.
There weren't any Lubavitchers when he wrote Tanya.
Yeah, but it's your
They
level.
were Liadish Chassidim. They weren't on it. And he's writing it for Beinonim. He's writing it to every Jew, not just for every Jew.
But
He's saying Messias of every Jew going back for thousands of years. He didn't give up their lives for these things, these three things.
Maybe she doesn't have
So
to-
Madach Shov, she's what?
It should be modern, doesn't have fair value. It should be modern Orthodox or even modern.
Modern Orthodox people
It's
no.
natural. It's natural.
It's the modern. They're saying the modern Orthodox is saying that don't go to a movie because you would even give up your life to be separated from Hashem from Avodah Zarah. That even a movie you should be willing to give up your life, even though it seems that it's not equal. But he's saying that any Avera is on par with these three things that you would give up your life. That's all he's saying. So over here, why would she give up her life? If she give up her life, she's about to die, right? So she knows she's going to die anyway. It's not even she doesn't have bechira. So now we're saying that she's going to give up. She's going to do something that's worse
To save her life.
No, but fakir. She's already going to have something that's not as bad. Getting killed is not as bad as getting killed for the Messiah of Avodah Zarah, right? What's the biggest Messiah? The guy's going to chop off your head, or the guy's going to tell you to bow down, or I'm going to chop off your head? What's worse?
Maybe unfortunately.
But what's worse? If a guy says to a yid, I'm going to chop off your head, or if you don't bow down to cheese and crackers, I'm going to chop off your head. What's the bigger Messiah? If you don't bow down to cheese and crackers, I'm going to chop off your head, right? Because you have a way out.
You're not killing her also.
So the bigger the sign is for her to sleep with him, and he's not asking her to sleep with him. She was saying she's asking him to sleep with her.
But it's only you're only asking her to bond, not punishing her.
What?
You don't kill her. You're just asking her to bond. You're just making her can't stay married.
Maybe the husband will go to another what's it called? They'll pass something like that on the bottom.
It would.
That's called force. And a man has a whole different Piddush in the Mishnah.
I mean, he'll that even if she initiates it, it's still honest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Okay.
Because when you're desperate, that's called the honest. In other words, what's honest? It means that there's circumstances that are making you do something you wouldn't normally do.
Right.
That's honest.
Okay.
So
maybe she'll go to that.
She wouldn't normally sleep with this behemoth. She's just honest because she wants to save her life. So even if we're saying that she would do it, I mean, I don't think we should even do such a thing.
Let me ask you, I think a core principle in Halacha and law is intent.
Right. So this is the Shaila. So according to the Rashi and Tosfos, it's a machlokes. Rashi says no, because she wasn't being forced for this. So this is considered that it was done by Rotzen. And look at the next paragraph. Hine tzemach tzedek v'raya lozeh. So there brings a raya to this. He says, "Lani is daiti oid raya das Rashi v'Tosfos minyan Esther." I can bring a raya from the story of Esther. What's the raya? Tzemach tzedek is very cute. He always brings like some left field. We're standing a day before Purim, so Esther. But this Tzemach tzedek is in a tshuva like. I'm sorry, it's in the Chidushim. So he says, I have a simple raya from Esther. There's a story, the Marik. The Shaila was, and the Marik was like this.
Who's the Marik?
The Marik is one of the last, it's considered like Marik Kulan. He's considered still from the Rishonim. From the last Rishonim, one generation before Thomas Sadeshin.
Yaakov Keppel?
Yeah. No. Rabbi Yosef Kulan in Germany. So he's had an interesting Shaila. A woman was Mizana. She was married and she slept with someone else, and she said she didn't know it's also. She thought it's mutter.
That's cute.
That's new. Yeah. So
What was she thinking?
Because her husband
She was
told
thinking
her.
stars.
Her husband told her that it's mutter. He was doing it also.
like the Chazal
What's
say.
going on here?
The Chazal say
Oh, this is a Purim share.
But Chazal Taka say that a person that Rahman al when there's news, so it's like it's usually that she's Mizana because he's Mizana. That's what Chazal say.
That's exactly what Aaron said.
Yeah. So B'meila, what happened was she said Pasha didn't know that it's Asur, and the Meila, what can you blame her? You can't blame her. So this is a tshuva to answer that. He said no, that's not true. A whole chidush. It says Isha kisis the Ish kisis Isha Mala, but he doesn't say that her Mala. It says Mala Mal Hashem. It says Mala Be'isha. She knew she's cheating on her husband. She didn't know she's cheating. That the Eibush said, but the Torah doesn't say but she knew she's cheating on her husband. This she knew. So B'meila she is asura. B'meila she has a problem and she has to do tshuva, whatever.
But she's also an Inus because she's Amaretz.
So, but here is the
Amaretza.
But here he wanted to bring a raya. The Marik wanted to bring a raya from the story of Esther. So the Marik says about Esther. He says how Esther must have been doing. Couldn't have done an aveda. How could it be? It says that when she came in front of Cheshvedish, the Ruach HaKodesh was rested over her, and she's considered from the Nevi'as. How can you say that she's doing something with bad intent? She's doing something evil, and then you're saying that b'shas ma'isa she's getting ruach hakodesh. This is it's just like, and sometimes you have Rishonim, they say things like, it's straight from the Gemara Rashi, but so it's like, how can it be Hashemas Hashem if someone's doing something so evil? Impossible. It's just like the Gemara says by Yael, Eshes Akeni, that she sleeps with Sisera, and the Gemara says that Aveda Lishma is better than a mitzvah Shaloi Lishma, because Sisera was trying to kill all the Jews, and then he's in battle and he's running away. He's the lower hand, but now in order to kill him, so she invites him into the tent and she sleeps with him. And after she sleeps with him, Mela, he's tired and he's thirsty. She gives him milk. He falls asleep and she kills him. So the Gemara says from here we learn that Gedola Aveda, because the Aimos slept with their husbands l'shem shamayim, to have children, but still they had anoah from being with their husbands. But this one, she had no anoah. The Gemara says because even though he slept with her, but a kosher woman, it's repugnant to her. It's like the nochash, it's like the zuam from the nochash and the chava. It's like so Mamela. It was this aveda that Yael was married and she slept with Sisera, but that was considered aveda lishma. Same thing Tosfos says by Esther, that her aveda was aveda lishma.
Because she knew she was going to save all the Jews.
She knew she'd save the Jews. So says the Marik. Yet the Gemara says kasher avadati. Let's read it in the Tzemach Tzedek. Ni is right oidrai ladas Rashi v'Tosfos minyan Esther. Apim mashakos of Marik shoyrish kuf samach zayin. Afagav the Lo Herbe Davishum Nid No Daveda Al Adar have a mitzvah of them. Filochanes Al Mordchem Mishum the Nikra Rutz. It's called Ratzon. Even though she must have been a mitzvah, but still, it's considered she did it willingly. This is the Megillah. Kasher avadati avadati. Ava b'sherotz narachmach was pacha the otzum shel gzeir hamid. Why did she do it? Because she was terrified of the gzeir hamid lahashmid lahagagas kol Yehudim. Ve'oid the Mordechai Omer lo al tadami ben avshich lilmolot meis hamelach. Hadishagam hi yishloim ashoysa b'sakona. So her life was in sakona. All of Klal Yisrael life was in sakona. And she says, let me go to the king. And what happens if he's going to want to sleep with me? Shine. So, but still, kasher avadati avadati, that she would be osset to go back to Mordechai, even though she did something which is considered, it's an exalted act. It's considered aveda lishma. This is one of the big chassidus of Rabbi Tzaddik. It's aveda lishma. It's an unbelievable concept. Aveda lishma. Better than the mitzvah shaloi lishma. The Reb Tzaddik HaKohen, that the Rebbe was very bucky, mamash. There's a story of the Biel Khan in the early years that he quoted something from Sisei Laila and then he got a call from Rabbi Chadakov saying that the Rebbe wants he shouldn't print it up yet because the Rebbe said it from Zikoron. He comes home, he'll look up the Sefer, and then he gets a call later, and the Rebbe gave him the exact lashon. It was like a full paragraph. He said it was kamat 1 or 2 words off. That's it. That's ad kedei kach. And here the Tzaddik is saying so. Here,
the Rebbe was just a few words off.
Yeah, I thought it was verbatim.
So Mamela. You can see a lot of shot. So Mamela, Esther, it was. She was a tzaddikus, and she did something to save Klal Yisrael. But still, the fact is that she went to Cheshveresh Berotzen and became a surah l'bayla. Kol shkem v'kavachom. He said, this woman is kavachom that okay.
What does that have to do with what you said that she would have sinned? There wouldn't have been Ruach HaKodesh on her.
On her, she had. It says Vatil Bash Esther Malchus. There's something in the lashon that the Gemara says that to showed on her Ruach HaKodesh.
Maybe he gave her a divorce before she went.
Oh, so everyone asks that question. All the Rishonim ask that question. Tosfos on the Torah, and Daf Tezvav Megillah, Tosfos asks, why couldn't he give her a divorce before? So he says because there would be no. No one knew. The Gemara knows that Esther was really married to Mordechai, but the Cheshveresh didn't know. He wouldn't want to marry such a woman.
How would he know either way?
Why would he care?
Why would he know either way?
Huh?
He took her because he thought she was a psula? What is he?
How would she have known? How would he have known if she's divorced, not divorced?
I don't know. It's strange, but the bottom line is, at this point, for sure, Mordechai suspected that if he everything was very sensitive here. Achashverosh hates the Jews, really. What happened was that all of a sudden he was choshed that Haman is
Sleeping
with his wife. Mordechai wanted to be very careful. If he's going to give a get, there's a edim, there's a shliach. This is going to ruin the whole thing. This is going to ruin the whole thing. The Rashba says, "What's the big deal? He could write a get b'ksav yodoi." I don't understand the question of the Rashba. You have to have edim mesida, and even if he gives it there private, I don't know.
Who would know? You do it. There was a whole Sanhedrin.
You have to have edim mesida.
There was a whole Sanhedrin in Shushan in those days.
But nobody knew that Esther was nobody.
But
knew
then
Go tell them. Go tell them. Hello, Reb Shmuel and Beryl and Sanhedrin. I need you to keep a secret.
He didn't want that. He says,
Wait, what's worse? He'll never be able to be with her ever again.
He's taking a risk.
Listen, the Rashba agrees with you. The Rashba says that whole story is one big agadata. It's a one big agadata. It was not. So in other words, we don't know exactly which part of it is agadata. He says you can't ask kashas here. It's agadata, and this is in other words. So he says this whole thing is agadata. The whole thing is agadata. So it could be she really wasn't married to Mordechai, whatever. The Rashba holds.
They said he was her uncle, right? He was her uncle.
So maybe it was Taki Kipshuta. In other words, that's the Shaila. Was her?
You can marry your uncle.
Shaila was the pshat was. It could be doid means an uncle. It could mean someone she loved.
What if she was a
Doidi doifik.
What was he was an uncle? Why is that?
Why is that a stira?
You can marry your uncle. You can marry your uncle.
Yeah, but
Maybe she wasn't married. She was just a lady.
but the bottom line is the shaila is was she married to Mordechai or not? That's the bottom line, and that's a machloikis. Just like Gav Urcha, there's someone that comes here in Beis Rachman, and he loves this the Gemara about the Nochash with Chava. So once he tells me Toidas and this Yoim Valayla. So once in the middle of telling a Toidah, someone else was listening into the Toidah, and he says, "What? The Nochash?" He says, "What? You don't know? It's a Gemara Mefureshes." But it's not so posh. It's a Gemara Mefureshes. Yeah, the Gemara says that Nochash put Zoham on Chava, but a lot of the Meforshim say that means on a spiritual level. It doesn't mean that Imam slept with her. But some Rishonim learned that it was Kipshut.
Abba, I have a question on the Megillah. Mordechai told her, if you don't go, at ubet avich toveh, mi yodea im le'es kazot tigat ha'malchut. He's telling her, at ubet avich, not my side, your side will be toveh. Maybe this is a way to give, like I'm giving you a get. Maybe.
Right, but the Gemara says that she became also to her husband. That's what the Gemara says. And the Rebbe takes out of this a moiridik nekuda. Here's the nekuda, the minor that the Rebbe wants, which is the minor of a Kibbutz Yehudim. So the Rebbe says like this, based on this whole chiddush of all and the Rambam, based on this whole story. So the difference of Chanukah and Purim is like this. And this answers a question that a lot of people asked in the shir that we had the Chassidus last week. Chanukah, it says Lashkichem Torah Secho. They wanted the Yidden should not keep Shabbos, and the Yidden were chayiv to go Mesiras Nefesh because they were told, don't keep Shabbos, don't keep kosher, don't serve Hashem. So it's like Zayda Shmad, and they were chayiv to have Kiddush Hashem. So since they're chayiv to have Kiddush Hashem, if they didn't, you don't punish them. Because that's what the Rambam says. If a person is chayiv to have Kiddush Hashem and he doesn't have Kiddush Hashem, you don't punish them because what can you do? He was forced. Purim, that wasn't the story. Purim, Haman says, I'm going to kill all the Jews. Gendikt. Someone had, the Alter Rebbe says, if they all didn't have Mesiras Nefesh, because if they converted away from Judaism, they wouldn't be killed. So someone asked last week, but isn't that the whole difference of Chanukah's Purim is like the difference of Stalin and Haman, that Chanukah was against the soul of the Jews, like Stalin wanted mainly to kill the soul of the Jews, and Purim is Hitler, Haman, Yimach Shemoy, he wants to kill the body of the Jew, and here the Alter Rebbe turns it on its head. He says the answer is no. Haman didn't want to. He wanted to kill the Jewish body, but the Alter Rebbe says the Gzeira was against the Yehudim. Had they converted and they become Ois Yehudim, then they would, then the Gzeda would not be against them. But Haman didn't say, convert or I'll kill you. He said every Jewish man, woman, and child is being killed, that's it. But the thing in the fine print was clear. It wasn't the fine print, but it was clear that any Jew that will convert, well, his life will be saved. And still says the Alter Rebbe that one man, woman, or child even can even entertain the thought to convert. So now, let's think for a moment, Dr. Rebbe. If one of them did convert, would they get punished? Yeah, they would get punished. Based on this Chiddush, they would get punished. Based on this Chiddush.
What happened in Spain, the Moranos in Spain, they will...
No, because that was direct. That was direct. Here, it was indirect. It was indirect. It weren't directly. He said, then kill all the Jews. Kill the Jews. Now, if a Jew that converts, become Ois Jew, then he won't get killed. So if a Jew would convert, he would be punished by Bezdin. He'd be punished by the Sanhedrin. So the Rebbe says, it's a tifalom this till you get it. But once you get it, the Rebbe says that this is the difference of the Mesiris Nefesh of Chanukah. Chanukah, if they would not have Mesiris Nefesh, you can't punish them. It's Medina Bagbola. The Mesiris Nefesh of Purim, if they didn't have Mesiris Nefesh, they'd be punished for it. The Eibishter set it up in such a way that Chanukah and Purim should be a different type. The Eibishter runs the world. Every Nisayon we get is from the Eibishter. The Eibishter set up the Nisayon in a way that Haman should be like Hitler Yamach Shemai. He shouldn't be saying anything about the Jewish soul. He should say about the Jewish body, I want to kill the Jewish body. Gendik. And then the Jew...
Hitler never gave the Jews an out. We're saying
Right.
Haman gave the Jews an out.
Hitler never gave the Jews an out. Although he did to some Jews. There's a book, Hitler's Jewish Soldiers. There was 250 Jews that Hitler signed that they are Ois Yidden and they're Goyim. And one of those people was the one that went and he saved Friedrich Rebbe. One of those people.
He was arrested later.
Huh?
He was killed.
Because eventually he killed all of them.
You mean the cop? Yeah.
Even the ones he claimed were his.
You know the Friedrich Rebbe said about it? That it's a Tata Yid.
And Mama.
His father was a Yid.
Not his mother?
His father was a Yid. That's why. You're talking about the one who was called to Berlin. His father was a Yid. Zachachi wasn't a Yid. He had an episode. That's why
He went to the quarter Jewish. He killed them.
Right. He killed even the fight.
Maybe he's saying these guys had enough Aryan blood. He could pass them off.
Considered them
Aryans.
Jewish. He had a quarter Jewish.
Right.
Considered
But,
Jewish.
Not even a quarter Jewish. Even an eighth Jewish.
Eighth Jewish.
Sure.
They went to cemeteries. They were taking pictures of.
Yeah, he was killed there. They took it back.
Yeah. Akaponim. So this is the word in the Maimer. That in the Gzeda, in the Mesiris Nefesh, they set up a Chanukah. If they didn't have Mesiris Nefesh, they wouldn't get punished. So it's a certain Medida Agbal on that Mesiris Nefesh. And also, in other words, it's Shaykh otherwise. But in Purim, it's the Eibush to set up a certain sign. It's not Shaykh Andish. It's no Medida Agbala, and it's pure. The Yid and the Eibush, it must be Mesiris Nefesh. The Eibush to set it up, the Alpidin, if the Yid didn't have Mesiris Nefesh, he'd be punished. In other words, the Kenesh Zayin Andish. The Yid can't be separated from the Eibishter. And not only mitzad his neshama, but even mitzad the guf, because the Gzeda was against the Jewish body. To show how the holy the Jewish body is. The Eibishter said, because Dafka, the Mesiris Nefesh, that's why this big Mesiris Nefesh of Purim is the one that cemented the Kabbalah Satoira. Because Kabbalah Satoira is pure. They lost the Zoma. The Zoma that mankind got from the Nachash, which is more importantly than the physical story, if it happened or didn't happen, is the spiritual Zuma. The Yitzhahara, the Yidden became free from Matan Torah. When they sinned later in the Egel, they got back in the Zuma. But now, when they had such a Mesiris Nefesh, where there was a Mesiris Nefesh where it was against their body, if they bailed out and they didn't have Mesiris, they would be punished. So they're like in a bind. That there's a Yid has no choice. And nita vil and nita ken zayin ogetelt from Eibishn. And that was the absolute. That's why that Mesiris Nefesh cemented this idea of Matan Torah. There's no zuama. There's not shaykh and Yid not to be connected to the Eibishn. That was the gewalt of the Mesiris Nefesh of Purim. Quickly, two Sheilos. Someone asked me about countertop of Pesach. It's to do with this week. So the answer is you got to cover or kash it. There's no. Because if you're going to use it for cold, it's fine. But if you're going to put hot stuff and then there's hot chametz on the counter, I don't know. This guy was telling me I already took so many l'chaim. It was Thursday night. I said I can't. I says, Rabbi, it's also for me to answer. You're not allowed to answer after you die.
But you remember it, you still remember it.
No, I remember
Wow, he wrote it for him. The guy that asked the kasha wrote
The
it
guy
for him.
asked me a few times. I said, I'm not allowed to answer you. So that's the
You're allowed to
answer.
remember the kasha, you're not allowed to answer it.
Another Sheilos, someone asked, he broke 2 ribs.
Okay, you're clean.
Does he have to say a goimel? So I'm not. That was
Who?
I'm
Who
not.
have to?
Avi broke 2 ribs. And
Oh,
he
right.
was in big pain. He asked if you should say a goimel. Truth is, the Alter Rebbe says like this. Look in the last 2 lines. Pasuk Admar Azokin. Yesh Einim Sheina Choyle Mavarach Ela Al Choyle Sheyesh Bei Sakona. K'goy Makeh Shal Chola K'yetzim B'Cholon Shal Chelem B'Sa Shabbos. So it has to be a type of choyle that you machal Shabbos for. Now the truth is, the ribs, it's a inside of the body, but you can't be machal Shabbos for it because there's nothing you could do for a rib.
Timing.
But it is from Evodim Pnimium. That's the truth. It is from the Evodim Pnimium. So
Also matters how it happened.
huh?
Also matters how it happened.
2 ribs.
You know, hey, Rabbi, let me, guys,
So I don't know. It is from the Evodim Pnimium.
one of my friends, I know one of my friends actually, a few years ago, went skiing, got into an accident. The doctor told him he'll never walk again.
Yeah.
He's walking today. He's awake.
Wow.
So I'm saying the question is, he has a guy like that has to bench going on?
No, for sure.
It could have punctured his lung.
Right. So anyway, l'chayre you should say a goimel. However, I want to be moisef.
I think his doctor was drinking and he said he'll never ski again.
Obviously, you know, that doctor was from up in Buffalo. Well, the Buffalo Babish over there. What's his name?
Greenberg.
No. He's, no, he's a British guy, Englishman. What's his name?
Kelly.
You're talking Rochester, maybe?
No, in Buffalo. I went to visit him in
There's a
Buffalo.
lot of Babishers there.
I went to visit him. The doctor.
British?
So one more thing that Rebbe says that the bracha goimel is for the korban toida. If a person ever, even if you don't make the bracha goimel, but the Rebbe says that the Alter Rebbe brings the Madura Basar and the first end of the first simon that any korban that you have to bring, you should say it in the. So if you ever have a nest, and even if you go on a plane ride, people don't realize it. You're supposed to 2 things that Rebbe says. You should open up a chumash and say from this week's Parsha Imal Toida Korbani, which is 3 psukim. Yep.
Where?
It's a befedish. It's I know.
Where is this?
Yep, it's in this week's Parsha. You're supposed to say and give a special thing for tzedakah because you learned it from Reb Shimon Bar Yochai that when he was saying.
Even if you don't go over the ocean, you say.
For sure, if you go over the ocean. If you didn't go over the ocean, you can also say it.
You make a bracha.
Doesn't matter. After you say a goimel, you have to open up a chumash and say, because the Shalom Parents for Seinu, you're supposed to say those 3 psukim imal toida karban. It's a letter from the Rebbe. It's a shara locha minute right over here. I didn't quote it. I didn't bring it in there. Huh? This week. It's in the Sheni.
Tzav.
Yeah.
By the way, if you-
Toida karbonai.
If you go on one of these Boeing Max planes and you go and you survive, you have to give $1 million.
Then you have to give double the tzedakah.
$1 million.
I used to say that
Out of
Parsha
Torah.
with unbelievable
With a cloud.
kavanah.
With orgulous.
If you want, take this paper home because we ran out of time. But B'chaz Hashem Yisborach, it was noil the time and the day no Rabbi Yoel Sheikh a brief.
Wow.
Yerotzim Shegadol B'yachaz Agosel Terol
Amen.
and there's going to be a Shaila.
Oh, I
The
hope so.
Shaila is B'ita B'zmana.
Yeah.
But we ran out of time, so if you want to read what's in the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch about this, take the paper home and you'll read it.
I was thinking about I have 3 or 4 shilas they had on Shabbos about the brief.
Thank you.
They're alive.
What's that? Wait, what's the question?
Yo, L'chaim, L'chaim. Children, the twins, together with all the other kids, should grow up L'toida, L'chupa, L'maisim Tovim, and make one siyum Masech after another siyum Masech.
Amen.
It should be like parrots and zera.
Girl, the next one is a
Well,
girl.
it should be like parrots and doves.
Rabbi, I want to tell you 2 things. First of all, about what you said before, I saw recently that the Nuremberg trial
Does anyone know what happened to Zera?
killed the top 10 generals on Purim Day. 10 generals killed on Purim Day.
No, what happened to
One of them said Purim Fest.
Something responding to the 10 sons of Haman.
Even better,
Right.
bigger.
But one of them realized the symbolism of it.
Stick with definitely.
One of them said Purim Fest
I had a
46,
choice. Those
47,
those words are those
Sorry.
words.
Like when you put those like you list 10 names of Amon, and you put it so like large letters, it comes to the year when the
Really?
Yeah.
The year of...
There's some, someone has a whole shot over there, yeah.
The other thing I also, one more thing, he was a personal physician from Austria when he was a kid. Who saved his mother. He was actually allowed, he was the only Jew allowed free exit. He was allowed to sell his house at the market rate and leave. And he actually moved to
Not
France.
done. Right in the back. There's one more thing here.
And he came with the CIA, they interviewed him.